All right, so I don't know how to approach this potential series. I'm gonna basically look at this as if I'm trying to train somebody that's, been playing Call of Duty, or maybe, just doesn't know much about Call of Duty. I don't know. Like, I'm just treating this series as the person I'm teaching doesn't know much of anything about this game or the series. And honestly, that puts me in a hard spot because I don't even know where to start, to be honest. Um, I don't want to. I don't know. There's just so many. There's just so many things. I have a few ideas on where to start, and honestly, the first and most easiest place to go to would be settings. I don't know. So okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you want to get good at Call of Duty, you must have a headset, a good headset. I'm talking like, I mean, price, whatever. I'm not saying you have to spend like $1,000 on a headset, but the headsets that I always use are Turtle Beaches. I've used them forever, for like 10 years. I mean, there's other brands. I just, I picked up a Turtle Beach back when I was a kid, and it was great, and just always bought them. Um, I always use the Stealth series. I think I'm wearing the Stealth 700s right now. I don't know. Just the headset doesn't matter. I'm not like a sound expert. Like I don't know about like decibels and all that crap, but like just buy a headset that has like HD sound or like good directional sound so you can hear everything basically. Um, I mean, there's headsets out there that you can customize and do all that, but I've never done that. I literally just buy the headset and use it. Just a good headset. And I mean, and in terms of control, like first I'm just going through accessories because like I'm only doing that because you don't need good accessories to be good. Those are irrelevant. I literally just play with it. Like I said, I just play with a headset and I play with a normal out of the box controller. I don't buy any of those like attachments and all that stuff for the controllers and whatnot. I don't do any of that. Never have. You don't need to buy your way into success to be good at Call of Duty. You can do it with just regular stuff. Now, and as I'm talking, more ideas are going to start popping in my head, so I'm just going to spit them out as I go. So it might drag on a little bit. I apologize, but so one thing you have to know about your controller in specific is the biggest problem. Obviously, if your buttons aren't working, that's obviously a problem. You want to use good equipment, but stick drift is the biggest issue, especially for a first person shooter like this game. Like if you have stick drift, you're just going to want to fork up the money for another controller because I mean, playing with stick drift is so infuriating. Like if your crosshairs are dragging across the screen, you're not even touching the stick, or your character's moving and you're not, just be aware if you have a faulty controller and get a new one. Um, so yeah, in terms of accessories, that's really it. Just get a controller and a good headset. So that's that. I mean, that's I'm not like I said. I'm not even gonna lie. You have to have a good headset to be good at Call of Duty. Sound is one of your biggest strengths. All right, and then secondly, we're gonna go through the settings real quick here. I haven't looked at these in a while just because I've kind of already tuned them to my liking years ago. But um, I I don't want to sit here and kind of explain what all these are, but I guess I will to the best of my knowledge, just because someone that's coming into this might need to know this. And hopefully I don't get any of these things wrong. Uh, so the dead zone is basically, so this is talking about your analog sticks, your left and right sticks. What the dead zone is basically the amount of distance you have to move the stick for it to read your input. So basically, like if it's at zero, the moment you push that stick, it's gonna start going in the direction you're pushing it. Now, the reason you would want this is for things like stick drift. It might help with that. Again, if my controller starts getting stick drift, I just buy a new controller. I know, controllers are like $70, so not everybody can do that. Now, I mean, this is a potential way you can fix that if you're in a situation like that. That's basically what this is. So this is the just how far. Okay, yeah, and in between these two, I don't really know what these mean. I'm guessing this is the. I mean, this is just calibration. I'm not sure. I don't know why that's at 99, but yeah, but that's basically what dead zone means. I've never really screwed with these. Again, like I said, if I get the stick drift, I just buy a new controller. So we'll just skip that. So that's just a general idea. Invert look, I don't know why I skipped that. Invert look is basically just like some people like to play where if you push, well, excuse me, if you turn right, on your right analog stick, it'll go left. And this is for people, I guess people that like played shooters back in the day, like old shooters. I guess they or like old airplane simulator games. Like it's kind of like airplane controls where I don't know. I just don't screw it. If I want to turn right, I turn right. But that's just preference. I don't know many people that actually do that. Yeah, airplanes and stuff. So all right, we'll keep going. Now this is the big one, obviously. Uh, Honestly, something that kind of irritates me is when people have their freaking sensitivity on like 20. You don't need your sensitivity on 20 unless you're on on a mouse and keyboard where you have like the most accurate of movements with your hand. There's really, again, this all comes down to preference, but really from an objective standpoint, I don't think you should ever run. You should never go anything higher than 10, in my opinion. I run at 7. I used to run at like 5 or 6, but I'll explain this. So you want to be able to move your camera quickly, right? You want to be able to like snap onto targets and whatnot. But the problem with that is that I'm going into a whole philosophy here. If you're playing the game with high sensitivity and you're just relying on snapping onto targets, that means you're not thinking about your engagements and you're not winning them before they start. I know that sounds stupid, but the other more realistic problem is that it's just harder to aim when you're maybe sniping or if you're just trying to pick off a target at a really long distance. If you're over here with 20 sensitivity, you're not going to be able to, again, with that dead zone and moving your stick just slightly so you can line up that shot. It's going to be that much harder. I've never played anything higher than 7. Like I said, I used to play at like 5, I think. Um, but what this does is that I can turn relatively. I mean, this isn't slow or anything, but if I need to turn really quickly, I can just yank my right analog stick in any direction, and I can turn relatively quickly. And then if I need to precisely aim, I can just very slightly nudge the controller. So so basically, long story short, the reason you want to use, I think, just these, nothing higher than 7 or 10 is for those reasons. So you don't honestly, I think you're just messing up if you're going anything higher than that. There's just no point because first of all, you're not going to be able to see anything. Your eyes can't even comprehend information that quickly when you're turning at 15 sensitivity. So hopefully I explained that well enough. But again, it all comes down to preference. I mean, if you're a robot and you can see things at 20, sensitivity and you can be super accurate, then yeah, I mean, go for it. You'll be a god. But really, that's why you want lower sensitivities. Um, so yeah, we'll just keep going. Okay, and again, like I don't even like I've been playing Call of Duty the same way since the beginning, and they add all these new settings and stuff. And I'm not even gonna lie, I don't really understand most of them. Hell, maybe I'll give myself even more of an edge, but I know that sounds stupid. I'm trying to teach about Call of Duty, and I don't know what these things mean, but settings don't make you a better player, is what it comes down to. It's all about knowledge and all this other stuff. So it's all about knowledge, but I don't know this. But anyway, so I'm pretty sure this is how hard you have to press the trigger, like your aim button before it actually aims. I'm not sure. I'm not really gonna focus too much on that one. I just leave it at 1 because that's the default. I've never had problems with that, so forget it. Um, and yeah, I don't really even. I'm pretty sure that's if you have like a scope, you'll have like you can set it up to where. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, so this is depending on what optic you're using, like how I'm guessing how hard you have to press the trigger or how far you have to press it. Again, I don't even screw with that. I really don't even see a practical application for any of this. So yeah, we're just gonna skip all that. Um, and again, I don't even understand what this is. We're gonna skip that. I don't screw with that. I just do standard vibration. I mean, listen, if if you're trying to be like super extra sweaty, you're gonna want to turn controller vibration off because the vibrations can throw off your thumbs and your whatever. I like to keep it on. I just like vibration. It gives me that extra feedback for me personally. But no, I mean maybe you don't have a good grip, like I have a pretty strong grip, but maybe you don't, and you want to turn that vibration off because it might throw you off. That's just preference. Now the aim assist is kind of important. Um, the issue. that comes into play with aim assist. Now this only applies if you use a controller. If you have mouse and keyboard, there's no, I believe there's no aim assist. I've never played mouse and keyboard. I have, but I don't really, I hated it. So um, you don't want to disable aim assist. I actually for the longest time used to play without aim assist, but I mean frankly you kind of need it in this game, especially if you're going to go up against PC players because they have a full range of movement and you don't. So this aim assist really does kind of level the playing field. Kind of. It can kill you sometimes. That's what I'm going to get into. So standard I don't like because it well standard in focusing. So basically what'll happen is if a character is running past you. So okay, so if you're aiming at a person and they're standing right in front of you, and then somebody runs past that person you're aiming at, your stick or your aim is gonna move with the person running past, and I know that might not make sense, but it'll screw you up. So you'll be trying to shoot somebody, and then the aim assist will kind of move you away because somebody else is running, and it'll screw up your aim. It'll get you killed. So having strong aim assist is not good. And you don't want to rely on aim assist because really it's just garbage. So precision, all precision does is just makes the aim assist will work, but only if you're just right on the target. So basically it'll make it easier to follow your target, like the one you're actually trying to aim at, without being interfered with other people or other things. So really, objectively, I'd say just always use precision because we're trying to make the people watching this better. So we don't want them using standard or focusing because again, you don't want to rely on that strong aim assist because that's not what makes you good. That's literally just playing the game for you, sort of at that point. So I would say just honestly run precision, and yeah. Um, so this is actually kind of an important one. It improved my gameplay a little bit ever since I used it. So typically when you mount on something, you'll have to aim and then press R3. But the issue comes in is that sometimes you'll be aiming and you want to mount onto something, and for some reason the game won't let you, or you're not lined up right, and then you'll just melee the wall, and so that's a lot of time that your guy is basically inactive. You screwed up and you can't shoot, or that could get you killed. So what I've always done now, so I double tap to ADS because first of all, it's I mean my finger can just tap that button really quick. First of all, I think it's faster. Um, and second of all, you don't run into that problem where you're meleeing the wall. And trust me, I've seen it plenty of times. Some guys trying to mount on the wall, and he's over here punching it, and I kill him. So this is the best way to do it, I think, because it's very deliberate. You have to really do it, and it also, well, first of all, you don't have to use two fingers to do the action, and it's safer. So basically, never just turn that off. Just never use this one. Now this one I think is just if you aim near a mountable wall, you'll just automatically snap onto it. Do not use that. That'll screw you up, and you don't want the game playing itself like that. So that basically just means that if you aim near a mountable surface, your guy's gonna automatically mount on there, and you can imagine how that'll screw you up. You'll be like in a gunfight and then some guy's shooting at you and you just so happen to be next to a barrel or something and then he mounts on it and screws up your aim. Just never use that one. I'd say just always use this. I guess you could disable it if you never like mounting, but there are definitely good scenarios where you want to mount on things, so I'm not going to say it's useless. But yeah, I would say just always use double tap. That's the best option right there. Um, Now mount movement exit, that basically just means that when you're mounting, you can move your character in. He'll get off the cover. I don't really see a reason why you wouldn't want to use this because you're not. It's not like you can move while you're mounting. So obviously, if you're trying to move, like basically, there's scenarios where if you're mounting and you want to keep moving, but you don't want to stop aiming to get off the surface, you want to move and still be aiming off the mount. You know what I mean? So basically, keep that enabled. There's no reason to disable it, I don't think. Uh, Now this is just toggle and hold. Oh, that changed that option there. So basically what this means is equipment. Yeah, so all hold and toggle means is that when you toggle, that means like if you're aiming, you'll press the aim button, and then if the option is on toggle, you'll press aim, and then you don't have to hold it. Your guy will just be aiming until you press the aim button again, and then he'll stop aiming. I mean, some people might like to play like that, but honestly, from the most efficient objective standpoint, I would say that's terrible because you have to press the button twice now to do to do something you can do with one. So just this is how most people play. I wouldn't even worry about that. Like again with the equipment, that's like if you want to throw a stun grenade, you would hit the stun grenade button. He would pull the stun grenade out, and then you'd have to press it again for him to throw it. So just don't even worry about those. Now this is a very important one too. So basically, this kind of comes down to preference. Kind of. Honestly, no. I'd say this is more of like an objective thing. So what this does is that this is really hard to explain. So basically, if oh my, so typically if you want to reload, you just press square. You tap square, and if you want to pick up a gun or open a door, you have to hold square. Well, the problem with that is that hold takes up so much time, and there's so many situations where you need to do those actions really really quickly. Like if you're out of ammo and you see a gun on the ground and some guy's coming up and you need to pick up that gun, you just what I can since you I use contextual tap, I can just tap square, boom, I got that gun and I'm ready to go. Or oh, I need to close that door because some guy's throwing a grenade. I can close that door immediately and stop that grenade. So basically, contextual tap makes it to where if you're looking at a door or you can interact with the door. I can just tap square and he'll close the door. Or if I'm over a person's gun, I can just tap square and I'll pick up the gun. It's a very it's a habit you'll have to get used to at first because I remember when I first started using it, it was kind of screwing me up, but it's so worth getting used to because when you're reloading, it puts you in a mindset because a problem that I have is that I reload after I shoot like one bullet. It's a bad habit. Um, it makes you think about when you want to reload, and it makes all those other interactions that you use all the time way quicker, like using a munitions box or, uh, destroying somebody's tactical insertion or closing a door or picking up a gun. What you'll end up doing most of the time when you start using this is you're trying to reload, and then there's a gun, especially on hardcore, which is what I'm going to be teaching people how to play better is you'll be over some gun and you'll try to reload and you'll accidentally pick up the gun off the ground and be like, oh no, I screwed up, and then you'll try to pick up that gun again and then it. I do it all the time by accident sometimes, like, but this is the best option. You're gonna want to get used to this because it'll speed you up so quickly. I mean, it's more advanced, but definitely want to get used to doing that. It's a very good setting that they added to this game. I disable this always. I hate when the game does things for me that I don't deliberately do. So I'm pretty sure the default is enabled here. So what this does is basically if you shoot all the ammo out of your gun, your character will automatically switch to your other gun. Now I hate this because first of all, there's some actions that'll cancel out. So like if you're it just throws you off because if let's say you do shoot all your ammo out of your gun and then maybe you can get a melee off. Maybe oh crap, I'm out of ammo, and then you want to go to melee the guy. Maybe he's right in front of you. Well, your character's over there switching his gun, by itself. So basically, what this does is that when you shoot all the ammo out of your gun, you stay there. You're not your character's not going to switch to his next gun. And again, it's just there's no reason to have it enabled. It's supposed to help bad players get their next weapon out. Okay, I mean it's been like that since Call of Duty 4, I believe, or all the other ones, but basically just turn that off. It'll just screw you up. Anything that the game does for you, you basically just want to get in the mindset of just not using. So just disable that. All right, so this is very important. Again, this goes back to the whole door thing with the contextual tap. Typically, on default, it's on hold. This sucks because again, you have to just you want to be quick. You want to get your actions off as quickly as possible. Having to hold to slide sucks because I mean, first of all, if you want to slide, you're like, okay, I want to slide. You hold circle. You have to hold it for like a whole half second. So your brain saying you want that action to happen, and then you're literally just sitting there waiting for the action to happen because you have to hold the button. Instead, you can just tap it. So it's like, oh, I want to slide. Boom, I'm sliding. You know what I mean? So and what this allows, there's slide canceling in the game. We'll get into that some other time, but basically this being able to tap your slide allows you to slide cancel. It allows you to it allows you just to be more maneuverable. It's quicker. It's more responsive. Basically, just get in the habit. Just turn off hold. It's terrible. It takes up too much time. It's slower. Just use tap. It's so much better. It's more responsive too. That's the big thing. This is I don't even know why this is in the game. I think this is mainly for Warzone. Just disable this. There's no reason to use this. This basically just makes it to where you always move forward. I don't know why you would ever want that. Again, this is more for Warzone, I think, because there's more distance to cover. Maybe you don't want to have to like hold the stick. I don't know. Just don't worry about that. Just disable that. Tactical sprint. I just leave on double tap. So the reason you want to leave it on double tap, just from looking at the options here, well, really this looks like it. Uh, Single tap to tactical sprint while sprint. Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense. I think this. Yeah, I don't know. Single tap to tactical sprint while running. Tactical sprint only use. I don't even know what that means. Okay, so I think I know what it means, but I'm not gonna explain it. Just don't worry about it. It's not important. Just leave it on double tap. Automatic sprint, this is mainly for Warzone 2. I know some people that play with it in multiplayer, just disable it. You do not want your character automatically sprinting everywhere because if you're just always like this basically just makes it to where yeah, you don't this is mainly for Warzone when you're covering long distances and you don't want to keep smashing the stick down. Basically, if you just move the stick forward like you're trying just to walk or move, your character's going to automatically sprint or automatically tactical sprint, and that's stupid because you want to be able to move without your character throwing up his gun in the air, and then you're no longer able to move and shoot at the same time. Just don't worry, but you do not want to automatically. Again, you don't want the game playing itself. You want to be able to be in control of everything you do. So just disable that. Don't worry about it. This is irrelevant because we don't have vehicles or parachutes. So, all right, cool. That took forever, but we're over the controller settings. Um, for the graphics, I mean, safe area. That's basically just that's for you personally. That's like to center your screen and stuff. So that's the. Okay, these are important right here. You want to disable world motion blur and motion blur for your weapon. This is more of just like a cinematic thing to make it look cool, but if you want to be good, you want to turn this off immediately, because basically I mean you see the pictures when your guy is turning, everything goes blurry, so that means you can't see very well. I mean it's literally making it harder for you to see. So I mean look at that, your weapon's all blurry, you can't see your sights very well. Just turn these off. This is just to make it look like a movie. It's to make it look cool. Turn this off immediately because you want to be able to see everything as much as you can. Film grain, just keep it at 0. That's just more of a movie thing. It's to make it look more cinematic. So just keep it at 0. It just makes everything all grainy and film-like, I guess. Um, I guess that's personal. I guess I suppose technically you would want to disable this because the less like bloody limbs flying everywhere, the easier it would be to see people. But I'm not gonna lie, I have a shotgun that dismembers people, so I want to see that. So if you want to be super sweaty, turn it off. If you want to, if you don't care, just keep it on. Brightness, that's preference, obviously. I suppose you would want to turn your brightness all the way up, but I have my TV set up in a certain way just by itself to where everything looks fine. So that's whatever. On-demand texture streaming, this is weird. Um, oh, I guess I didn't download the packs again. So basically, I think I uninstalled the texture packs because there's high quality texture packs. Like I think there's 3 of them. Um, Basically, that just makes the game look better. There's these packs they added to make the textures look nicer. Uh, I think I didn't download them so the game would load faster. At least that's what I thought it would do. Um, I think I'll change that after I do this. But yeah, you basically just want to. I would say keep these on standard or disabled because this is mainly for people that have fast internet connections, which I have. I could do the high quality, but I thought it would help my performance, so I didn't download them. So just keep them on standard or disabled. So we'll just leave it at that for there. Um, yeah, this is just like, yeah, just keep it on standard. Oops. And yeah, don't worry about it. So now we'll go to interface. I turn the subtitles off. I mean, you don't need subtitles in multiplayer, so just turn those off. That's just more stuff on the screen that's going to obscure your vision, even if it is little. Colorblind, that's obviously if you're colorblind, so we're not going to go over that. Tooltips, I would disable those. I don't know. Okay, so the thing is, in hardcore, you can't tell if you're actually standing on a weapon. That's kind of where I was talking about earlier. If when sometimes I accidentally pick up a weapon, it doesn't tell you if there's a weapon on the ground because it's hardcore and there's limited HUD. I don't think if you enable that, it'll change that, but I just disable it because I don't want that stuff on the screen anyway, because it's not really important. So just disable tooltips. Minimap, definitely put this on square because you can just, I mean, you can just tell from the picture. The circle minimap doesn't show you as much as the square, so just keep it on square. Square is the best minimap shape. Um, Minimap rotation, obviously, I don't know. I guess you could argue that disabling it or enabling it would be better. Basically, if you enable it, the minimap will turn with your arrow, which is how it is by default. And then if you disable it, it'll keep the map as if you're looking at it from the pause screen. I guess you could say it might be useful that way. I guess I'll just leave that down to preference. That's not really important. I just enable it because I don't know, it's just what I'm used to. So the compass, I disable this unless this was Warzone where you need to use those like coordinates. It would be important, but I just like to keep the screen as like empty as possible. There are like the compass does show red dots of people shooting, their gun, and it'll like show up as red dots on the compass. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't even use the compass because when you get to a certain skill level, you don't even need the compass. Like all the compass does is give you a general direction of where a person is shooting. So you can just listen. Like if you get good enough, you can just listen and be like, "Oh, there's a gun being shot in front of me." Instead of having to move your eyes to the compass and be like, "Oh, there's a red dot. There's a person there." You just want to use your brain, use common sense. Be like, "Oh, I hear a gunshot. Oh, there's an enemy over there. None of my teammates are there. Okay, it must be an enemy." Just disable the compass. There's no reason to ever use it. Kill feed duration, this is a very useful tool. Not many people would probably, well, not many as serious people would use this. So, 10 seconds, I think is the default. I think I used to have it at 20, but it was just taking up too much of the screen. So the kill feed is obviously, where you kill somebody and then it shows their name and your name on the bottom left. So the kill feed is an extremely useful tool. This is a super advanced tip that we'll talk about way later, but I would say just for now, keep it on 10. I've never had problems with it any shorter or longer. I mean, that would just disable it, but just keep it on 10. Vehicles, we don't need to worry about that. Text chat, I enable it because I talk a lot of shit in text chat, so we'll just keep that. And profanity filter, well, I'm not a pussy, so we're gonna disable it. I want to see all those nasty words. New message sound alert. I talk a lot in my like I have a group or a clan or whatever, so I like to be able to hear the like little noise it makes when a message comes in because sometimes my eyes aren't looking down to the text chat, so that's irrelevant. Text chat duration again. This is all irrelevant. I like to keep it for 15 seconds just because sometimes there's a lot of text chat going on and I like to be able to read it all. So that's irrelevant. Irrelevant though. In-game alert icons. I enable all of these because I need to know if I'm lagging. Like if you're lagging like really bad, I mean you'll know it. But sometimes there's just a little bit of ping and you don't know because the game doesn't tell you your ping in like the leaderboards or anything. So this just tells you. Okay, there we go. So yeah, in-game alert icons. Just keep them enabled. All right, now for audio. Um, Objectively, I believe the best one is boost. Maybe it's boost high. I'm not sure. Um, Again, I'm not a audio like expert or whatever. Basically, the reason you want to run boost or boost high, I think these are the two that are the best. Um, but yeah, the reason you want to use boost or boost high is because the sound of guns and the sound of footsteps are. I'm gonna explain this like an idiot. They're really they have a lot of bass to them, like the thumping of the feet, the you know. So you want to be able to hear that, or the gunshots. You want to be able to hear the thumping, so you can tell where people are, where gunshots are coming from. So just again, like all these other ones, these are for people that are more like into the immersion. You know, these are people that like don't take the game as serious, or you know, they just want to feel like a movie. You know, so just don't worry about those. Just run boost or boost high. Master volume, obviously, you know, keep your master volume up the most. Music, I just like to have the music on because it, I don't know, I just want it that way. But I keep it really low because it doesn't disturb the gameplay. Like sometimes the game will play a little bit of music during the game, and obviously you don't want that because you want to be able to hear the game. But I just like to have a little bit because it doesn't really interfere too much. Now the dialogue, I turn way down because for the most part, um, what the dialogue does, this is characters talking in the match, like saying like, oh, grenade out or reloading or something, or this is also the guy saying, you know, the announcer saying UAV in the air, or you know. So you don't want to turn this all the way off, but you want to turn it pretty low in my opinion, because obviously, well, first of all, because when somebody calls in a UAV, it shows you on the screen, hey, somebody called in a UAV. Or wait, does it? Sorry, I can't. I'm tripping for some reason. All right, what I'm saying is that you want to be, the dialogue is actually very important, and this is again a very advanced tip that we'll talk about later. Sometimes, like if you have a friendly next to you, they'll and their character in the game is in the line of sight of an enemy. Their character to you will say enemy that way, or like enemy up there, or something. They'll call the enemy out, and that's actually extremely valuable. For some reason, their character can't hear them saying that, um, because I guess that would be kind of like that's kind of balancing. That would be the game kind of playing it for them. But keep the dialogue low because the dialogue can get annoying sometimes. Like if there's a bunch of kill streaks being called in like 24/7, you don't want to hear the guy saying enemy UAV, enemy personal radar, enemy this, because him talking, you can't hear anything. So just keep this low because it is important, but you don't need it blaring in your ears all the time. Effects volume, obviously you want that all the way up. That's gunshots, footsteps, all that stuff. Cinematic volume, that's just for the campaign. We don't need to worry about that. Juggernaut music, obviously you want that enabled. It gives you like better accuracy, better health, you know, all that stuff. So, you know, I'm just kidding. But no, Juggernaut music is freaking awesome. It's like one of the coolest things they added to this game. Um, Now the hit marker sound effect, I know some people play with this off. Um, I don't. I like the classic like Call of Duty 4. Well, I mean it's not Call of Duty 4, but it's the classic like hit marker noise. Again, it just gives me that extra bit of feedback. Like yeah, you get the X on the screen, but I just like to hear. Like it just helps me to hear it. And plus I just like it. I like the sound effect. Um, so really, that's just preference. You could use any of these. This is just the Modern Warfare 2019 sound. Maybe if you don't want that extra bit of noise, you could just turn that off completely. I'll leave that one up to preference. All this other stuff, I'm not really too sure about this. We're just gonna skip those. That's how I have them. Now voice chat. This is important because I play with a group a lot, and where is it? I thought there was voice chat volume. Is that it? I think. Oh, I did turn it up to. Yeah. Okay. Um, Actually, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. So voice chat. This is a whole nother thing. You know, some people's mics are really loud, some people's mics are really quiet. And obviously, if you're playing in a group, you want to be able to hear each other's like call outs and stuff. But sometimes, like for me personally, like sometimes I don't need people. This isn't like me saying anything bad about the people I play with, but I don't need them to tell me an enemy's somewhere. Like I probably know they're there. So I mean, honestly, a lot of that in a lot of circumstances, I just mute my party and let them call each other out. Now, if we're trying to be like super sweaty, we're trying to kill some campers or something, like yeah, we're gonna keep the text or the voice chat on. But I keep the voice chat volume pretty low because I want to be able to hear the game. Like I don't need to hear my teammates like saying, "Oh, there's an enemy here," or you know, I mean, you know, we all bitch and complain and you know rage sometimes, but you know, I need to be able to hear the game, so I keep it pretty low, or I just mute people. But that's all just preference. I have the classic chatter effect on the comms. It's definitely better just to have it off, but I like that. It's supposed to sound like Call of Duty 4. So it makes the comms have that like static or whatever on it, so it's whatever. All right, in the account tab, that was the last one. It doesn't have anything important there, so we don't need to worry about that. I think we'll wrap it up for there. I think we'll wrap it up there for this episode. I know that was kind of boring and a lot of just rambling for the most part, but it's important. Got to start with the foundational kind of things first. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do for the next episode, but yeah, um, something really important that they could help me, basically help me help you make episodes, whatever. Um, I don't like to ask people, like, oh, leave a comment and subscribe, but no, like leave a comment because if you have a question, like it's so much easier for someone to ask me questions and then I answer them because I can give you the answer. So if you have a specific question, maybe if you leave a comment, maybe I'll say, hey, I'll do that in another episode, or maybe I'll just answer the question there in the comment. So definitely do that, and that'll help. So all right, we'll do another episode. I'll hopefully do these daily. I hope I can do that, but yeah, I'll see you in the next one.